Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to stay to the script. Lieutenant Coffey, the entire tactical staff, academy instructors, and recruits of Class 235, on behalf of all the men and women of the Alhambra Police Department, I want to thank you for allowing us to take part in this special event. We are honored and humbled by your gesture to remember Officer Ryan Stringer and the legacy that he left behind. I'm Eddie Elizalde, a lieutenant with the Alhambra Police Department, and I was the officer in charge out in the field the night of Ryan's passing. Here with me today are some of Alhambra PD's Team Number 3 members who were also working that night. Assistant Chief Dan Rodriguez, Corporal Olivia Magana Palomino, Corporal Mark Vega, and Officer Eddie Delgadillo. Other officers that arrived shortly after were Lieutenant Tai Seki and Corporal Corey Fukumoto. One of Ryan's Academy classmates is also here with us today, former Alhambra PD officer and now Anaheim PD detective, Jose Duran. On July 10th, 2011, at approximately 2:15 in the morning, most of the team was patrolling our entertainment district, providing high visibility. As I was driving, I heard and saw a female screaming for help. As I got closer, I saw that the female was chasing after two guys and yelling that they had just stolen her purse. I made a radio broadcast of my observations, and immediately officers started to converge on the area. We were able to get the two male subjects detained as they were driving away, as well as the female. What we learned in those first few minutes was that all three subjects were highly intoxicated and actually knew one another. As I was putting out that we were Code 4, we heard a loud and violent crash in the area, but none of us could see anything because we were in a parking lot behind some businesses. I told our dispatchers that we were Code 4 and that they might be getting calls about a traffic collision in the intersection of Main and Garfield. Officer Eddie Delgadillo was sent to go look for the collision and report back. Seconds later, Officer Delgadillo made a radio broadcast that the TC involved one of our officers. We could tell by the tone in his voice that it was serious. Some of the officers left to assist, while others stayed dealing with the three subjects. Seconds later, we learned it wasn't only one of our officers, but two of our officers that were involved in the collision. Officer Juan Mejia and Officer Ryan Stringer collided into each other as they entered the intersection, responding to assist on the 211. Officer Juan Mejia was ejected from his vehicle as Officer Stringer was trapped in his car. Later that morning, Officer Ryan Stringer passed away, while Officer Mejia remained in ICU with serious injuries. This incident rocked our department to its core. It had been 41 years since the department had lost an officer in the line of duty. To say people struggled with Ryan's passing would be a tremendous understatement. Officer Ryan Stringer was many different things to many different people. He was a loving son, brother, uncle, and friend. He was filled with life and often walked around with a smile on his face. He was easy to approach if he didn't approach you first. He lived life to the fullest, so much so that he took up skydiving and encouraged not only his family to jump out of perfectly good airplanes, but some of his partners as well. Some of us took him at his word and kept our feet planted on the ground as he spoke about the thrill and the rush of free falling. Ryan was into lifetime fitness, working out, running Baker to Vegas, and smashing running records like there were walks in the park. Dirt biking, you name it, and Ryan did it. Ryan pushed himself to always be better. Not only better at his daredevil lifestyle, but more importantly, a better person and a better police officer. He was the kind of person that would help his friends no matter what. So the story goes, as he and Detective Jose Duran were at the Rio Hondo Police Academy, Detective Duran left his PT gear in his car one day, believing it would not be needed because PT wasn't on the agenda. Well, I'm sure none of you recruits ever forgot your equipment, right? Well, the recruits' performance wasn't, well, let's just say it wasn't up to par to the TAC staff's liking. So they were all ordered to get their PT gear and get ready to have some fun in the sun. Ryan, being squared away, ran and got his PT gear. Detective Duran stood there empty-handed. Ryan looked at Jose and said, "Whiskey Tango Foxtrot." Knowing the consequences his friend would have to pay at the hands of the TAC staff for not being prepared, Ryan purposely reported to the TAC staff that he too forgot his PT gear. He told Jose, "I am not going to let you go through this alone." As they were paying the consequences of their loving TAC staff, Ryan told Jose, "This is only going to make us stronger." Now, I wasn't there, but I'm sure Jose looked at Ryan and said, "Whiskey Tango Foxtrot." And then they laughed out loud. Ryan did this not just to get an extra run in for the day. He did this because this was his nature. This came from his heart. This was the kind of person Ryan Stringer was. Ryan loved his job, loved his family, and loved life. I'm sure if he were here today, he would congratulate each and every one of you on a job well done, and then probably convince you to go skydiving with him. He would have a big smile on his face and you would hear his laugh. If Ryan could be here today, he would probably tell you, never give up, no matter what you are faced with in life. He would tell you to push yourself to the limits, and then when you got there, he would tell you and encourage you to find more within yourself. As you begin your careers, never forget to do your best each and every day, at work and in your personal life. Keep positive and know that on day one, reporting to work, you will have the opportunity to impact a person or a family's life in a positive way. You'll find that this opportunity will present itself with each and every call that you go on. At times, the world may seem cynical to you. Fight this urge to believe. Stay positive, stay vigilant, and each and every day push yourself to be better. A better police officer or deputy, but more importantly, push yourself to be a better person, just as Ryan Stringer did. Class 235, congratulations, and thank you for this opportunity.